Hello and welcome. You have tuned into Market Fatafat on ET Now. I'm Shrishti Sharma and with me is Vinny Motiwala. And viewers, this is the show where in the next 1 hour, we and our team of researchers as well as technical analysts will tell you all the stocks that are buzzing either on the back of the news flow or on the back of the technicals, and we'll also get you top trading ideas during the show as well. So let's get started, but before that, let's have a look at what the markets are up to. So Winnie, the profit booking continues for the Indian benchmark indices and no significant recovery.
Absolutely. No significant recovery that we've seen coming in the last couple of hours for the markets as of now. Look at the Nifty as you can see on your screen. Nifty trading below the 9,400 levels, all through the week, and even today in the morning we saw the Nifty touch a new high, but then again it's given up those gains, and like you were mentioning, some bit of a profit booking is a merit that comes into play over there. Sensex 2 down almost 0.5% in trade as of now. Let's look at what Nifty PSU Bank is doing. Nifty Bank is doing, that's among the top sectoral loser as well. That's down almost 0.8% in trade. Other than that, when you look at it, the Nifty IT, Nifty Pharma, none of them are managing to actually hold on to some bit of a gain over there as well. And as of now, when you look at it, the advance decline ratio, it is in the favor of the declines than the advances today. So yes, that's the story that is coming out over there as well. In terms of the gainers and individual movers, we have Electra Green Tech that is in focus as well. And this one is in focus because just a few minutes back we saw some order win coming in for the company, and we're seeing that the stock has just taken away and moved up from those levels, as of now trading almost at the day's highest point. We have Suntech Realty that is buzzing in trade, Praj, Kalyan Jewellers, PVR Inox. We will obviously take you through all the individual names separately as well, but today, other than that, in terms of the losers, we have Intellect Design, MRPL, Loda, Siat and Chola Holdings that are among the top losers. So yes, those were the losers and gainers over there. As of now, market's given up all its morning gains, so keep an eye out on this one, but nothing exciting as of now. Let's see what the recovery shapes up in the next couple of hours then.
Well, yes, that will be really interesting to watch out for if there's any recovery or not. But with this, viewers, let's get started, and let me welcome on board our team of researchers as well as onto the technical front. On the technical front, we have been joined by Vaishali Parekh, who's the Vice President of Technical Research at Prabhudas Lilladher, as well as from the research team, we have Vamakshi as well as Harsh joining us. A very welcome to all of you and a very good afternoon. Vaishali, coming to you.
I think I will take the first talk, Shrishti, as always. Before we go to Vaishali, I'm going to take the first talk as always. And, Vaishali, good afternoon to you as well. But Eris Lifesciences, that's the stock we're going to talk about, and that is in focus because we saw a bulk deal that was happening yesterday. And in terms of, we have some names coming in over there, where we're seeing HDFC mutual fund has actually picked up stake in the company, almost 1% stake in this pharmaceutical company, and that is around 13.5 lakh shares, which they bought at a price of around 697 rupees per share, amounting to 94 crores approximately. So on the back of that, we've seen Eris Lifesciences actually jumped up as much as 4% in trade today, as of now holding on to some bit of those gains, but 2.5%, 2.6% is the gains that it is holding on to as of now, Shrishti.
Okay, let me take up the next stock that is in focus, and from the auto space, that's an auto ancillary play, that is Talbros. In a weak market, this particular counter is seen to be buzzing, and the reason is that the company has received a new order win, where they have received multiple multi-year orders worth rupees 400 crores from both the domestic and the overseas customers, and the orders are across their business division and product segments, and their JVs have also seen to be participating. This includes multiple EV orders of rupees 205 crores from some of the leading OEMs, is what the company has highlighted, and orders are to be executed in the period of next 5 to 7 years, is what they have informed. 7 years of orders covering the company's product line, gaskets, heat shields, forgings. So these are the products that are specifically coming for Talbros Automotive, and since the start of the day, the stock was seen to be buzzing, and now what a move. 13% gains is what you are seeing on the exchanges.
Absolutely. Both the stocks that we have spoken about are buzzing in trade despite how the market is doing right as of now and given up all these gains. But yes, these two stocks are buzzing in trade. But Zuari Industries, that's the first stock Vaishali is going to talk to us about. Vaishali, good afternoon. And in terms of the charts and technicals, when you look at it in terms of the last 6 months, yes, gains of 13%. And specifically since April to now, when you look at it, seems like that momentum has just picked up in terms of the gains for this one. What are the charts now indicating? At 160 rupees, would you still suggest a buy?
Very good afternoon to all of you. So yes, Zuari Industries is one of my picks today because while I was choosing the stocks, I really liked it. It was at around 152, 153. It's already rallied high. But the beauty of it is it has moved beyond the resistance level. So I would say that it is a positive view with a support of 145. And I think in days to come, we can see a target of around 180 levels.
Okay, so those are the levels that you should be watching out for Zuari Agro. But another counter starting with Z alphabet, that is Zen Technologies in focus. And Harsh, this is your first stock. Tell us what's the news flow?
Well, yeah, so Zen Tech has won an order from the government of India. Solid, substantial order coming through for Zen Tech, and you can see the buzz on the stock on the back of that. Well, what the company suggests is that they are continuing to foresee more orders in the near future. So you can expect more coming through as well, and it's a significant order win, approximately 160 crore worth in terms of value for the order. And what's the order for? It comes under the government's indigenous design and development program, which requires Indian IP and over 60% indigenous content. So that's where Zen Tech believes that it has an edge over others, and that's the other positive. Of course, more orders in the pipeline as well as the current order win, positive for Zen Tech.
Okay, so despite a weak market, this IT name is holding a gains of 2.5%. We're moving on to the next counter in focus, actually two counters in focus, that is IOC as well as Praj Industries, where they have signed a term sheet to advance the plans to strengthen their biofuel production capacities in India, and various biofuels covered under this MOU, including sustainable aviation fuel, ethanol, compressed biogas, as well as biodiesel and bitumen among the others. Now, earlier in October 2021, both the companies had actually entered into an agreement to form a 50-50 JV to this end, wherein Prabhudas Lilladher actually on fundamental take is of the view that the IOC and Praj have been collaborating to facilitate India's energy transition towards a greener future in the past as well, and they believe that the development is positive for Praj Industries, and the biodiesel is to be the next growth driver for Praj Industries in the medium to long run. Both the counters are seen to be buzzing. Praj Industries 7.5% gains, and IOC is also holding that in the green till now as well.
Absolutely, that's the fundamentals and news flow around Praj Industries. But Vaishali, you have picked up Praj Industries for us on the charts today, surely buzzing in trade on the back of this news flows. But on the technicals, what is the view for Praj Industries? Should we expect bullish move to continue? Because in the 6 months, it's almost remained just an 8% gain in the 6 months. So nothing exciting there. So what is now the view on the charts?
Precisely. Sorry. So today's candle, it shows that yes, there is a lot of buying interest. And with this news flow, it has shown a very strong up move. The candle also, today's candle is very bullish. But for days to come, I would say 370 would be a good support level. And one should look for a target of 450 and perhaps higher. So my view remains positive, and it would be a buy at every decline with 370 as support.
Okay, we're moving on, and let's shift focus to the stellar debut of IdeaForge today. And Vamakshi, coming to you for this one.
Well, yes, Rishti, a stellar debut indeed for IdeaForge. When we look at the listing, the stock actually listed on the NSE at 1,300, which is almost double of its issue price, which was almost 672 rupees per share. Now, overall, when you look at the subscription numbers, the subscription was at 107 times, which in fact makes it the most subscribed IPO in 2022 and 2023. Now, let's look at what the company does. The company has around 50% market share in the Indian unmanned aircraft system market. It is in fact ranked 7th globally in the dual-use category drone manufacturers as of December 2022. The Infosys in fact has a 4.35% stake in the company, and in fact nearly 70% of the revenue of this counter comes from the defense space. Other than that, there are some important triggers ahead. The Indian drone market is projected to grow from $43 million in FY22 to around $812 million by FY27, which actually exhibits an upside of almost a growth CAGR of almost 80% from 2022 to 2027. So, given all those factors, a stellar listing, and that is the reason why IdeaForge is in focus today. As of now, as you can see, trading with gains of around 91%.
Absolutely, that's the stellar debut of IdeaForge, but we also managed to speak to the management of IdeaForge and what they believe in terms of obviously the growth prospect for the company. We spoke to Ankit Mehta about how he's looking at the company going forward. Let's go across and listen to what he has to say.
So what we're planning to do is essentially make sure that we iterate onto our portfolio significantly strongly over the next few years and open up a couple of additional categories of products that will allow us to create an opportunity where we are overall able to address a larger market size and also open up a lot more use cases. So that is on the product side. And then in terms of markets, we are looking to go to international markets. We are looking to make sure that we can create a presence in the North American market as we are invested in that market today. In terms of the opportunity side on the civil side, again, there is a huge explosion of opportunity on the agriculture side, explosion of opportunity on the mapping side, where large-scale mapping is happening in a big way. And then there are also opportunities coming up in law enforcement and other areas where we are continuously seeing a demand and growth of the opportunity. So from that standpoint, it is going to continue the traction that is envisaged.
Okay, but moving on, and let's shift focus to once again the counters that are buzzing. And Vaishali, coming to you for the next one. You have picked up Vatek from the broader market space. This particular counter is seen to be buzzing. Tell us what are the next levels that we should be watching out for.
So, well, Vatek has been giving us a stellar performance so far. And I think this is still ready for further up move. I would say buy even at these levels, and I won't be surprised if we see a target of 530, 540 from here on. So this would be more of a trading strategy, and I would say keep a stop loss of 490.
A trading strategy there coming in on Vatek. But let's move on and talk about a logistics name. So Allcargo Logistics that is in focus today. We have a brokerage note that has come in from Jefferies where they're actually maintaining a buy on Allcargo Logistics, and they've actually cut the target price for this one to 370 rupees per share from previously 500 rupees per share, and this is to adjust the demerger, and the demerged entity is to list in on the exchanges on July 2023, sometime by the end of July 2023. So Allcargo Logistics is now a pure play international trade and domestic logistics. Now the global container freight rates are still weak and the impact is factored in the international business. Also, the express profitability turnaround is on its way. So that's something that everyone's watching out for. Plus, it's a good franchisee is what Jefferies is highlighting, and available at a 1-year forward PE of around 14 times. So that is what they're finding attractive. Yes, that cut in the target price is only because of the demerged entity. So that's the factor that you have to give out, right? So it's not anything major. But yes, we've seen that today Allcargo Logistics is trading with gains of 2% after that.
Okay, but moving on to next counter, that is Intellect Design Arena. That particular counter is seeing tremendous pressure in today's trading session on the back of a negative news flow where the contract between GEM and Intellect not to be renewed, where the company initiated an exit and transition, where the management for the order of FY23 revenue from this particular order is coming in at 253 crores, and total revenue for FY23 was actually close to 2,253 crores, and this contract added 11.67 crores to the margins, where the company actually says that the second bidder for the contract has actually bid at 16% lower cost, and that quoting the lower price was not commercially viable, and that's why they are ending the contract. This particular contract is not being renewed right now, and that's what the negative flow is. The stock was actually 7% at one point in time in trade today, but seem to be recovering mildly. 5.5% cut is what we are seeing right now.
Really keeping an eye on that one. But let's move on to stock number 10 and put the spotlight on Deepak Fertilisers. This one is on the charts and technicals. And Vaishali, when you look at it in terms of the charts, what is that one could understand and get an indication from this, given that, you know, in the last 6 months, the stock has already fallen 12%. Is there more consolidation, or is there a time for run up now?
So actually the stock looks very, very chartically, it's very appealing, you know. I mean, right from 1,000 levels, we have seen a good corrective move, and I would say this has been a consolidation band. So today, I mean, since yesterday we're saying there is a rise in volume, the candles are good formation, so I think it's worth buying, and I would rather say start accumulating because we have a support of 550. So I would say that in as a positional trade, this would be a good bet because the risk reward ratio would also be very favorable. One can look for a target of 700. So this is very, very appealing as far as the charts are concerned.
Okay, 700 is the probable target that one can look at. But moving on, and let's focus to Subros now. On the back of a positive news, this particular counter has been buzzing. So let's understand that in detail. And Harsh, over to you.
Well, yes, Srishti. So, Subros has largely been in focus because of the fact that it has a very large market share in the truck air conditioning market, and that's why it's been focused. It's been in focus in fact, for more than a month now. Over the last 1 month, the stock's up 31%. Over the last year-to-date period, it's up 50+%. And no surprises on the news there. Of course, it's been pouring in since yesterday, but the draft notification for compulsory ACs in trucks has been approved by Nitin Gadkari, and essentially what this means is that all trucks will have to, effective January of 2025, have to implement this notification, implement air conditioning in trucks. And that will mean that truck manufacturers will have to sell the chassis with the cabin having an AC system. That will of course benefit Subros in a big way. Around 3.5 lakh vehicles per year will now have ACs, and that's a big positive for Subros, opening up around a 500 to 550 crore in terms of value for Subros. These are numbers which Subros themselves have given us the last time they came on ET Now.
Surely keeping an eye out on Subros, buzzing in trade after that announcement. Let's move on and talk about Granules on the charts then. And Vaishali, the last 6 months, nothing exciting absolutely in terms of the performance that has come in there. What are the charts indicating? Is it anything exciting that now we could start seeing?
So yes, I think it's gradually getting into a trend, and today's move was very good, and I think it is currently seeing a resistance at 310, which is also a 200-day moving average level. So once we see a takeoff from there on, if it sustains about 310, 315, I think there is going to be a lot of improvement, and we can see an up move going towards 350. So this will be my conditional trade.
Okay, so that's the take coming in on Granules. But moving on, and from the real estate space, Vamakshi, there's been no stopping, and Sobha is the counter in focus today. Tell us, what's the news flow?
Well, yes, Srishti. Generally, when we look at real estate companies, Q1 is expected to be a seasonally weak quarter. But this time around, actually, most of the real estate counters that have come out with their updates have reported a good growth as far as the pre-sales number is concerned. And Sobha is the same. Now, they have achieved the highest ever quarterly sales value of 1,465 crores in the first quarter, which is an uptick of almost 28% on a year-on-year basis. But when we compare it on a sequential basis, they have been able to maintain the pre-sales at a similar level. Now, other than that, they have also managed to make these pre-sales at the highest ever price realization of almost 10,500 per square feet, an uptick of almost 25% year-on-year and 6% sequentially. Now, what Sobha has suggested is that they are witnessing sustained demand across cities. Bangalore has contributed nearly 54% to the total sales value, and this has come with improved price realization and products mix that is actually moving towards the luxury segment. Kerala region sales have also witnessed significant improvement, is what they've highlighted. 55% growth is what they're seeing on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Other than that, NCR has continued to do well with an established market presence, and the demand for gift city projects is on the rise with improved development as well as visibility. So on the back of that, keep an eye out for Sobha. It's up nearly 4%.
Surely keeping an eye out on the on Sobha. But let's move on and talk about IGL on the charts. And this one surely has picked up pace in terms of the names of the technical analysts that are actually talking about IGL. And Vaishali, you too have picked out this one for us. Your view is positive on this one with 18% return in the last 6 months. What should we expect now?
Yes, I would continue to have a positive view because the chartical formation, as I'm telling you, is getting into momentum, and I think this stock is still a good buy at these levels, and I would look for a target of 510, 520 to start.
Okay, let's move on and talk about the next one, and that is Tata Steel then. And this one is in focus after we have its updates that have come in, and a bit of a mixed update that has come in terms of the production. When you're seeing India steel production, that is at around 5 million tons, which is up 2% YOY. The Europe Q1 steel update output, when you look at it, that's at 1.81 million tons versus 2.44 million tons YOY, which is down 26%. The deliveries are at 4.8 million tons, which are higher by 18% on a YOY basis. Exports are moderated a bit on a year-on-year basis, coming in at 0.25 million tons. So a bit of a mixed update that has come in from Tata Steel. So keeping an eye on this one, you can see the stock has fallen with the markets as well, given up those gains and trading with a decline of almost 1% in trade as of now, Shrishti.
Okay, so that's the update coming in from Tata Steel. But moving on, and let's shift focus to the multiplex, to the cinema counters, that is PVR as well as Inox Leisure, where the report suggests that the GST Council will likely clarify on Tuesday that the supply of food and beverages at cinema is taxable. Is taxable at a rate of 5%, similar to standalone restaurants, and that is actually a positive news for PVR, because besides it will also make it clear that 22% cess is applicable on MUVs and SUVs, and similar to that was actually imposed on SUVs. What all taxation is there on the food and beverages, a clarity on that will definitely going to be a positive news for PVR Inox, and that's why this particular counter is seen to be buzzing up around 4.5% in trade right now.
Absolutely, up around 4.5% in trade right now. But let's move on and talk about Apollo Tyres on the charts, and putting the spotlight on that one. Vaishali, what's your view on this one? Where do you see it after 415 as a current price? Where could we expect it in terms of targets?
I would say it was already ready in a new round of momentum since 2-3 days, and there is a lot of scope upside. So for a purely trading perspective, I would say 400 should be the support level, and even if one buys now, I would be looking at a target of 430 to 440 to start.
Okay, there seems to be no stopping for all these counters. What a move we have seen yesterday, and that continues today in select names. Moving on, let's shift focus to Titan now, and we'll go across to Vamakshi actually to know how the updates were and what's interesting that she's spotting out there.
Well, Srishti, when we look at Titan, a good update coming from this counter, and that is being reflected in the stock price today, up nearly 1.5%. Now, the company recorded a revenue growth of almost 20% for the first quarter. All its key consumer businesses are exhibiting very strong double-digit growth in the quarter. In fact, Akshaya Tritiya as well as wedding purchases are just some of the factors in the month of June that actually led to the performance, and this came in despite gold price volatility. Now they managed to add 68 stores, taking the total stores count to almost 2,778 stores. So overall, when we look at the jewelry segment, there was better than expected growth. It actually grew by almost 21% on the year-on-year basis. Watches and wearables grew by 13%. Eye care division saw sales growth of almost 10%, and fragrance and fashion accessories grew by 11%. Now we also have a brokerage note that actually came in from Citi. They believe that the Q1 update indicates the growth journey for Titan continues. They appear to be quite positive on the near term as well as the long term prospects on the back of company specific initiatives as well as industry tailwinds, which is why they maintain a buy target price of 3,280 per share. So all in all engines firing for Titan, and that is the reason why the stock is up and away in trade today.
Okay, that is Titan for y'all. Let's keep an eye out on that company shining in trade today. But let's move on, and on the charts, Bharat Gears is the stock that you've picked out for us, Vaishali, at stock number 19 today. In terms of the charts and indication that we're picking up in the last 6 months, again, nothing exciting that the stock has done. 6% return in the last 6 months. From here on, what should we expect from Bharat Gears?
So precisely, actually, if you go to see all auto ancillaries, then these stocks have been moving, but this one set stock has been consolidating for a very long time, and I think it's ready for a takeoff, because today's movement, we've seen that yes, it's making an attempt to move past the resistance levels. So we need to have a confirmation on follow-up buying. So once we see that, it's currently at 129. So I think there would be further conviction about 135, 136. Once that occurs, I think we are ready for a target of 145 to 160. So quite a fair trade at these levels to get into the stock.
These are the levels you should be watching out for Bharat Gears. But with this, viewers, it's time to slip into a short break. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to highlight all the stocks that are left, that are buzzing in trade. And we'll get you the list after the short break.